So, I was almost 16 years old when my alcoholic, meth addict aunt came to live with us. This wasn't the first time a boyfriend had kicked her out, but it was the first time my dad let her move in with my family. However, she only lasted about 3 weeks. Apparently, living with us was just a little too much accountability. Also, she just really liked meth. Yeah. So, my dad graciously kicked her out, and she left, leaving behind her snaggletooth cat, her Australian shepherd with heterochromia eyes, and her red-haired 6-year-old daughter, River. I wasn't pleased. Sure, family is great and all, and helping out those in need was very noble of my father, but this wasn't the most ideal of circumstances. The whole house had been turned upside down. The normality I was so comfortable with was suddenly washed away overnight, and things didn't stop changing. My dad took my aunt to court to try and win custody over River, which meant River would be living with us for some time. Now, River was not a fan of sleeping alone in our guest bedroom, which we had prepared for her. So again, the house was turned topsy-turvy as she relocated to my room. I'm the only girl out of 5 brothers, and sharing a room is something I've never really had to do and never planned on doing. But I tried to be optimistic. Who knows? It could be a fun experience sharing a room. I was finally getting the little sister I'd always wanted. We could have late night conversations, play with Legos, and I could dress her in cute outfits and braid her hair. Well, fast forwards to the first night of sharing a room. I walked in to see River sprawled across the bed, blankets and stuffed animals stacked 4 deep. I climbed in bed next to her, switched off the lamp, and switched on the floor fan that I kept on every night. For a whole minute, I lay there in quiet, peaceful quiet. This wasn't going to be so bad, I decided. We would share a room for a little bit until she was comfortable enough to move back to the guest bedroom. Then I would get my room back to myself, and things would go back to being semi-normal. Easy peasy. But my optimism only lasted that silent moment. River rolled over in bed and complained that it was too dark for her to sleep. Yeah. I sighed and switched the lamp back on. A few hours later, I woke up drenched in sweat. You know, that nasty kind of sweat that always happens when you accidentally take a nap in jeans and a sweater. Gross. Sometime during the night, River had not only piled all of her animals and blankets on top of me, she'd also switched the fan off. Yeah. The next night when I came in, the blankets were gratefully on her side, but instead of sleeping on the pillow where she belonged, she was curled up on the end of my side of the bed like a dog. In the following nights, she wet the bed, somehow only on my side. She had kicked me in the middle of the night, waking me up from a deep sleep out of breath. She had repeatedly stole the blankets, rearranged, touched, and broke just about every single item in my room. I was annoyed to say the least. What should have been just a week or 2 of sharing a room turned into 6 months. 6 months of enduring River, slowly taking over my preciously guarded space. She filled my room with cheap dollar store toys from her mom, an assortment of hideous clothes that she had picked out herself. I tried braiding her hair and playing Legos, but both ended in a disaster of tears. Throughout these 6 months, my parents had been constantly fighting in court for custody over River. At times, it seemed optimism was warranted, but 6 months later, my aunt managed to jump through a number of hoops and win the judge's favor, despite showing up drunk to court at 9 in the morning. But she gained custody back of River, and right then and there, in the courtroom, she took River home with her. And that was it. I never got to say goodbye, because in an instant, my life had gone back to the way it was 6 months earlier. I had my space back. I had my room back. I had my bed back. But for some reason, when I went to bed that night, I didn't sleep as soundly as I'd expected. Because even though things were normal and regular again, my room felt strangely empty. I still haven't seen my cousin or my aunt since. Her dog ran away not long after. Her cat actually still lives with us, And every time I walk onto the porch and see him lounging in the sun, I'm reminded of those 6 months when I finally had the little sister I'd always wanted. And I can only hope and pray that River's safe.